Welcome back to another week of celebrity drama by design. I'm your host, Paige Michelle, human design expert, business advisor, and editor-in-chief of Undefined the magazine. This week, I want to talk about the Free Britney movement, and I want to give my perspective on the Red Table Talk that Jada and Will had last week. The news cycle was relatively slow this weekend, and it's still the perfect time to arrest John Mattingly, Miles Cosgrove, and Brett Hankinson for the murder of Breonna Taylor. This weekend, Jada brought herself to the Red Table along with her husband Will to discuss her entanglement relationship. They had a relationship. That's what happens when two energies come together. They relate, and that is a relationship. Essentially, it confirmed every single thing that I said in last week's episode, and I know what you're thinking. No, it is not hard always being right. It's actually really fun. What it really confirmed is that these two have an incredibly strong relationship and get to experience a level of intimacy that most of us never get to experience in our lifetime. They described their relationship perfectly when Jada said, "It's all love," and Will said, "I'm here with you." Will is the epitome of a defined heart, the loyalty, the strength, the will, the power, the unconditional love. And then Jada's open emotional center that is just always seeking to feel loved, to feel needed, to experience new levels of herself, to find herself while she's in relationship with others. I mean, it's just fun to watch. She said through this experience, through she and Will's experience, but specifically this experience with August, that she found herself. She got to look at the ugliest parts of her. She got to look at the most beautiful parts of her. And she got to discover a new layer and level of herself, which is essentially what an Open G Center is here to do. Open G Center people identify themselves through their relationships and through their experiences with others. That's why it's actually so important that they're in the correct environment with the correct people, and especially in an environment where they feel safe and they feel loved to be themselves. No two relationships are the same because no two people are the same. Rules, boxes simply do not work when it comes to marriages. That's why we see such dysfunction in most people's relationships, because they're trying to approach their relationship the way that their neighbors are approaching their relationship, or the way that their psychiatrist or their therapist is approaching their relationship. When we start to normalize differentiation, we start to normalize this person as an individual and this person as an individual, and how they come together, how they make that work does not have to look like anything. It's still a union, it's still a marriage, it's still valid, and it's still beautiful. And in fact, it is the epitome of unconditional love, to be able to love someone in and all conditions. I think when we stop removing the conditions around love and we get really clear about what our needs are, what the value exchange is, what we're willing to pay for in exchange for that value, what we're willing to accept in exchange for that value, then we will see the decrease in divorces and we will see an increase in healthy and happy relationships. I think Will and Jada have a lot to teach us. If you're not as active on TikTok as I am, then you may not be as familiar with the Free Britney movement, but Gen Z is doing their thing. There are several videos circulating that indicate that Britney is trying to send us a message. If you didn't know, Britney is in a conservatorship. Her father is her sole conservator, and she's been under that conservatorship for the last 12 years. What that means is that she has absolutely no decision-making autonomy whatsoever. Every decision for her business and her finances and really her well-being is made by her father. So in these videos, Britney does not look well at all. It appears as if she is communicating with her followers through signals. In the comments, fans are saying, "Hey Britney, if you need our help, wear a yellow shirt." In the next video, she's wearing a yellow shirt. Things like that. She appears to be signaling that she needs help. What's wild about this is that conservatorship is typically reserved for those who have neurological degenerative diseases and who are much older. Not somebody who's Britney's age and not somebody so active in her career still. My career with human design and in human relations, I have seen a ton of people diagnosed with bipolar disorder or a mental disease when in reality is actually an emotional or energetic vulnerability. And sometimes a simple emotional or environmental shift can cause massive change in their life. I am not saying that she's not mentally unwell, and I am not saying that Western medicine is not important to her progress and to her process. What I am saying is that we should consider her emotional vulnerabilities and her energetic vulnerabilities as a priority. Human design Britney is a manifesting generator with a 5-1 profile. A 5-1 profile are known to be projected on and to be treated as saviors. People think like, these people are going to save me, they're going to provide for me, they're going to take care of me. And when those people don't do as others think that they should, there's a lot of backlash, there's a lot of controlling that can go on. There can be a lot of anger and resentment when that person doesn't act as others think that they should, essentially. Her G center is almost completely open, which in my opinion is her most vulnerable area. Her environment is critical to her health. If she appears unwell, it is because she is in an unhealthy and incorrect environment for her. If she is in the incorrect environment for her, she will be around the incorrect people, and this is when you see massive health issues. With an open G center, she has no consistent sense of her own identity and her own lovability, and that can lead to massive manipulation and codependency. I wouldn't normally question the validity and compassion of this conservatorship if I didn't know her human design and if her father was not profiting $128,000 annually on conservatorship fees. His emotional solar plexus is almost completely open, which means she's constantly absorbing other people's emotional highs and lows, and she's feeling other people's feelings all day long. This can leave her with her G center and her open emotional center, this can leave her extremely vulnerable to emotional manipulation. Emotions are just frequencies. They go in waves of high and low. When you're an emotional high, you hear high frequency thoughts. You're great, you're the best, you're so talented, the world loves you. When you're in emotional low, you're going to hear low frequency thoughts. You're the worst mom. You don't even want to live. I mean, the things that you can hear are extremely dangerous to your mental health, to your health as an individual. The issue becomes identifying with those thoughts as if they are true or as if they are yours. When you pair this open emotional center that's consistently feeling these highs and lows, these high and low frequencies, with her defined mind, which is constantly overanalyzing, constantly doubting, constantly thinking, it's very easy to spin out, especially when it's attached to your role as a mother. I see people with open emotional centers, defined minds, and open G centers often diagnosed with bipolar disorder. To me, the most fascinating piece is her purpose in this life, which is her left angle cross of identification. She has incredible ability to contribute to society when she's in an environment she's rewarded and safe in. So her environment is extremely important to her contribution in this world. If she is not thriving, it's because she is not in a safe, loving, rewarding environment. She doesn't have to say a word. When you see her, you can see that she is not healthy. She is not well. She is not in the correct environment. The fact that I know that her decision-making abilities, her relationship to her gut, to her life force has been stripped from her, and her visibly being unwell is enough for me to jump on the Free Britney movement. My suggestion would be to put her on the lowest dose of medication necessary, to teach her how to trust her gut, to then put her in the correct environment for her, teach her how to work with these emotional highs and lows, how to disidentify with the emotional highs and lows and the thoughts that she hears while she's in them, and you will see a completely different Britney. Actually, you'll see the Britney that we saw and that we love so dearly. The Britney that we get glimpses of in old videos and old documentaries. The sweet, kind, loving, compassionate, extremely talented woman who loves her children more than anything in the entire world. If you enjoyed this, please share. And if you want to learn more about your human design and living a life undefined, you can download a free copy of Undefined magazine at the link below. I'll see you next time.